The Slingshot One-Lock Flow front wing is a completely new model in Slingshot's foil range for wing foiling. With a surface area of 800 square centimeters, it has a wingspan of just under 94 centimeters. That corresponds to a mid-aspect of 11. Unlike other comparable models, here we have a slim leading edge and a profile depth that is slightly below average. Of course, this foil is also a one-lock foil. That means we have a completely tool-free assembly of the front wing and also rear wing. In order to work out the differences and possibilities from Slingshot's full range, we used a variety of wings. A slightly longer fuse with a turbo tail, this is what it's called, with a size of 180 square centimeters. This is a combination designed to provide maximum stability for the foil. And then we also have a distinctive flare tail with a shorter fuse. This combination is simply intended to get the maximum glide out of this foil. We tested this rear wing in sizes 145 and 175. In addition, the test features an HM carbon one-lock mast with a length of 82 centimeters. The base is slotted, which allows it to be mounted with Slingshot's quick mount screws. But you can also screw it in place using the individual holes as standard. The overall workmanship of all components was very clean. With the Flow front wing, we tested also the Glidehun 725 one-lock. That's why we'll be making comparisons between the two here and there. Let's take a look at the lift capability. This wing performs well to very well in this regard with the turbo tail, the largest and longest fuse. It offers the easiest performance here, and after takeoff it is immediately 100% stable. If you look at the lift performance with the Flare Tail 175, you really do need just a tiny bit more energy when pumping actually. And we do have a very slight progression in the lift-off behavior. The wing accelerates very well and easily reaches a high top speed. This applies to all three tested rear wings, with the smallest one, the Flare 145, notably delivering the maximum performance here in particular. Let's return to axis stability. When you roll with the foil, you notice there's a slight resistance, and you do have to use a bit more force in order to overcome this resistance. Nevertheless, the flow also turns willingly into the curve, but if we compare it to the Glide 725, which by comparison requires virtually no force at all with similar rear wings, you immediately notice a difference. The yaw axis is completely free and provides very nice feedback. By comparison, it turns even tighter here with the two flare tails, which, simply due to their shorter fuse, cause less resistance, so you can carve even tighter. Overall, no matter which wing you use, the flow is an absolutely stable foil system, although with the tail it does require a bit of guidance. With the tail, it remains absolutely stable in every situation. The true strength of the foil is definitely the glide. In that respect, the naming might be just a bit misleading at Slingshot. The glide, of course, already existed. We had it in our last test, last fall, the L25. That's when it got its name, and now they've released the Flow as a new model afterwards. But actually both of them should swap names, in our opinion. Because the Flow, not just due to its higher aspect ratio, but also because of its unique and refined profile, has absolutely enormous glide, where even the slightest amount of wave energy is more than enough to keep this wing going. It also doesn't need such tight turns on the face of the wave. Instead, you can take it easy if you want, almost in a longboard style, and simply at the right angle use the small remaining energy of the wave and really enjoy very, very long rides. The Flow actually has really good pop for jumping. But if you want to achieve extreme performance, just like with a freestyle foil, you naturally also need very smooth and clean edging, especially in the carve. And that's where it gets stuck due to its slight resistance. Especially when you compare it to the glide. And the difference compared to the glide is also noticeable when landing. Here, we simply don't have such a low stall speed. That means if we've slowed down after landing, it's noticeably harder to keep the wing going and maintain its motion in the air, even though it still has good pop, which helps the wing generate lift and stay responsive. As all our testers said, you can jump well with it, but it's not a freestyle foil. And the not quite as high level of control at low speed naturally makes it an advanced foil. You have to use pumping motions, which are taken up very efficiently, to get yourself out of certain situations and to keep the ride going continuously. And as soon as there's even a minimal amount of energy from a wave push again, the control is immediately back. If you want to ride the wave a bit more comfortably, we definitely recommend the turbo tail, which has a slightly longer fuse, and the surface area of the foil is also slightly larger. This provides maximum stability and safety. And for all those who really want to get the most performance out of this front wing, they should, without a doubt, choose one of the two flare tails. Here, body weight is certainly a decisive factor, as well as how well you can handle your foil overall. But it's not just pure wave enthusiasts who will really have a lot of fun with this flow foil. Freeriders too, who simply want a foil that lets them effortlessly and smoothly glide through any maneuver, no matter how challenging, will enjoy it as well. And here too, if you don't yet consider your skills to be very advanced, you should choose the turbo tail. If you are already more advanced overall, the flare tails offer more performance, but they also need to be ridden at a consistent angle. The Flow is truly a very nice foil whose performance fluctuates between that of a duotone glide and an AFS Enduro, depending on which tail you choose to combine it with. This of course makes the possible range of use very broad overall.